It might be July, but we are here on iRacing. It is not the real-life Indy 500, as you would maybe expect from all the real-life IndyCar racing going on. But we are here for the PEC Indianapolis 500-mile race, but not the race itself. First, we have 2 days of qualifying here upon us, and it is going to be a very interesting 2 days. We've got 3 hours for the first day, and then 3 hours again tomorrow for fast laps around the Speedway. I'm Julien Altena, joining you from the commentary booth here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as Edson Santos is the first car to take the green flag. So let's switch our focus to Edson Santos here as he comes up to speed and is working on his first lap. And I believe already waving off his first run.
Okay, Nicholas, get ready.
That was short-lived.
Right. Nicholas, you are free to head out on track.
So, for those of you who are new to iRacing and the IndyCar in general, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway I don't think needs an introduction, but the car certainly does. As you can see, small skinny rear wings and front wings, designed to minimize drag and produce downforce as efficiently as possible, to go fast. And this is of course what is going to be the main topic today. How fast can you go around the Speedway? We got 3 hours and 45 minutes on the clock. All drivers in the field get at least one guaranteed attempt in this exact order, and Edson Santos was the first in line to set a run. You can see Nicholas Pressey is going to be next up, as we are currently following him in his number 94. Nicholas Pressey, Motorsports Honda, working his car up to 200 miles per hour for the warm-up lap, which is the minimum speed that you must maintain. And I can in fact show that as well, driver inputs. So stay above 200 miles per hour is what you need to do. And then you get 4 timed laps, and the average of those 4 timed laps will be what is going to be put on the scoring pylon, which will be updated by Bart Furstein today, one of the organizers of the event, the other being Liam O'Sullivan, as you can probably hear on the voice chat.
Green flag.
And as always with these streams, if there is any problems with any audio levels, frame rates, that kind of stuff, please do feel free to let me know so I can fix it as soon as possible. Testing can only get you so far, so if there is an issue in practice, then that should be addressed, and I would be more than happy to do so. So just a general note out there. If you experience any issues, just let me know in chat, and I will do my best to fix it as soon as possible. So Nicholas Pressey on his first run. Lap number 1. And let's see what he can do. That is a 39.425 on the opening lap. And take these lap times with a grain of salt, because they are from the pre-qualifying practice that we've done about 10 minutes ago. But Pressey hasn't set the lap time then. This is his first lap. So 39.425 is his first lap. Let's take a quick look at the weather as well for this session. It is static weather to give all the drivers an equal shot at the pole position, or at least advancing to day 2. You can see a nice southern 1 mile per hour breeze. 39% humidity and 104 Fahrenheit is the track temperature. That is around 40 degrees Celsius. And 32 degrees Celsius air temperature, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So as I said, static weather, equal opportunity for all the drivers. As I cross the line, Nicholas goes to start his, I believe, second to last lap number 3. It's all just a bit of a waiting game until we get the first times in. Engine sounds are a little quiet compared to my voice and race controls. Okay, I can up those sounds a little bit.
Checkered flag.
So that was lap number 4 for Nicholas Pressey, as we
And
see.
well done, Nicholas. That is our first complete run.
The first lap being completed. 39.5402, which is actually a pretty decent average compared to what you would expect in these kind of conditions.
Get ready.
As Dan Inch is going to be next in line to set a run. In the meantime, I am quickly going to go to this screen.
You are free to head out on track, Dan.
So I can fix the engine sounds. As I mentioned, it's gonna take a bit of testing. It can only go so far while you're doing this live, and sometimes things just aren't perfect. So let's go here. There we go. That should be much better, isn't it, Brandon? Let me know if that all works for you. And we will go back to coverage of qualifying here.
Reminder, next lap warm-up must be above 200 miles per hour.
There's a reminder for Dan Inch to keep his speed above 200 miles per hour on his warm-up lap. So Jonas Weber and Eike Peguero not in the lineup today at the moment. They will be doing their guaranteed runs later on. So as mentioned, Dan Inch is now on the track and must keep his speed above 200 miles per hour, which he is quite clearly clear of. Let's go on board here with Dan Inch.
Green flag.
Coming out of turn 4 across the front straight he goes. 230 miles per hour across the stripe. Can he hit 233 into turn 1? No, just barely misses out. But let's track this minimum speed. 226 in turn 1 on lap 1. 224 out of turn 2. And the speeds here will give us an idea of how much the fall off is going to be during the run. Usually you'll get about 0.2 of fall off in these kinds of conditions. That is a rough estimate, so not an exact amount. It also depends on how well or how poor you drive during your run. But Dan Inch's car seems to be pretty stable. Still maintains 226. Can he maintain 224? Drops to 23 off of turn 2. So not too much fall off on this second lap. Coming to finish lap number 2, starting lap number 3. And it just looks oh so smooth here for the Rev 'em Up Chevrolet. Thought he was going to wash up into the wall there for a second, but he keeps it under control. Into turn 3. So warm-up lap was a 41.1. Lap number 1, 39.567. Lap 2, 39.687. Let's see what this third lap is going to be. The third time lap, 39.725. So around about 2 tenths of fall off at the moment, 1.5 tenths, more or less for Dan Enge. Hopefully he can keep this fourth lap within the 39.7s. It's gonna be slower for sure than Nicolas Pressy though, but that's not what's the most important thing at the moment. You have to be in the top 30. We may or may not have more entries coming for day 2 tomorrow, so it's important to simply get a clean run in first and then worry about the rest later.
Good run, Dan. Please reset your car.
And that's a 39.790, so that's gonna slot him.
João Castro, please get ready.
As said, to second place at the moment. As Bart is struggling to keep up with the lap times at the moment. I don't think he needs to. I don't think he knows that he needs to sort it.
You are free to head out on track.
There we go. So João Castro in the number 121 Aero McLaren Chevrolet. That's an interesting sight. A 3-digit number on that car. Of course, Pato Award runs a single-digit number 5. And boy, is it weird to call fast cars going around the Speedway for a change. Usually I'm the one driving it. But let's bring up the driver inputs again. So remember, the drivers need to maintain 200 miles per hour on this out lap, the warm-up lap, which is starting now. So you cannot drop below it. If it flickers, that is usually acceptable. But if it clearly drops to, say, 199, then that is going to be disallowed, so you lose the run. So coming out of turn 4 to open the run is João Castro. Let's see.
Green flag.
If he can carry any more speed than Dan Enge could, maybe trim the rear wing a little bit. Same speed into 1. Same speed out of 1. Actually, 1 mile per hour is slower. As Bart Firstein hard at work to get us the correct order in the timing screen. It's a little different of an event than most of us are used to running, and broadcasting for that matter. So hopefully everything will be squared away within the next few minutes to get everything running smoothly as everybody gets used to it. But that was the first lap complete. And that was a 39.738, so clearly off of the first 2 runners. So lap number 2 is going to be a 39.839, and that's a 10th of drop-off per lap at the moment. As mentioned, the drivers will probably look to get a clean run in first and then worry about the rest later. Because most of the drivers simply don't know how many drivers will actually end up racing next week. Which brings me to our next point. The race, the PEC 500 mile race, will be next weekend on the 26th of July at 2 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Central European time. That's 7 p.m. UK time. For the correct broadcast start time, check your YouTube timings here on this very channel. just go to the Velocity Online Racing channel, search for the live event, which will be marked with race at the end of the title, and that will be the local time for you in your area. So make sure to tune in then. That will be me and Mike Wayne Robinson, my good old friend from the Sprint Series days here, if you remember the streams we did on this channel about 6 months ago at this point. Beautiful series, but unfortunately doesn't run anymore.
Checkered flag this time. Good run. Well done for hanging on to that. Please reset your car and head back to the pits.
So that's João Castro's run completed. And yeah, it's a good 2.5 tenths of fall off there for his run, but not too far off Dan Inch's run. It's only a 1.5 actually I correct myself, 2 tenths off Dan Inch there.
Matt, please head out on track whenever you're ready.
I take it it's me. All right, hang on.
No worries, I'll give you 1 minute.
So next one in line is going to be Matt Wagner, founder and current league owner of the Horizon IndyCar
just to reset your
series.
car just to make sure we weren't engine warming.
You want me to reset it?
Yes.
All right, hang on.
I love these open
Just for rules'
comms.
sake.
Just goes to show you that these events aren't put on easily. So Matt Wagner going to reset to the pits and go out again to ensure everybody has a fair shot at this. Engine warming by the rules isn't allowed. So for example, one driver could be heating up the oil temperature to say 110 degrees Celsius, and that gives you a good speed advantage down the straights, because it can rev to a high, it can more easily rev to a higher RPM, which of course means more speed compared to somebody who doesn't, which by the rules isn't allowed. So just to prevent any of that by accident, Matt has to reset. But we'll get his run in now in the number 6.
So this is a warm-up lap, correct?
The next lap is the warm-up lap, must remain above 200 miles per hour.
Simple.
In the meantime, hello to everybody in chat. Marnix, Brendan, about to get on track as well. Wagner in the chat just before his run. Good to see you all, guys. Very good to see you too, Brendan. I'm still waiting on your entry for the VOR series. So Wagner coming out of turn 4 here in just a second to open his run. We got 3.5 hours left on the clock. If you're just tuning in, we got 20 drivers currently on deck, so to speak. Actually make that 15 because 5 have already run. Or the 5th one is running at the moment. So everybody gets 1 guaranteed attempt, and after that the track is completely open until 10 p.m. UK time, 11 p.m. Central European time. So about 2 hours and 40 minutes from now is when the gun will go off, and that is going to conclude day 1. Long ways away, but the most important thing at the moment is to get a clean run in, to have at least something on the board to qualify you into the race. There might be more entries coming tomorrow to qualify. So whatever you can do now in terms of clean runs, if you're not able to do tomorrow, that will help you significantly. There will also be a little bit of a procedure for secondary runs down the line, which I will explain when the time comes. But that is going to be very interesting. It's going to be similar to real life, which most people can probably already guess where I'm going with the first and second lines. But like I said, I'll explain that later, as Wagner now coming to complete his second lap. .39.501 was his opening lap. Let's see how big the fall off is going to be. And it is within the same 10, so that's very promising. 5.83. That will bring his average to around a 39.54.2, to be very precise. 541 actually, and a half. So Wagner, very experienced setup builder. I'm sure he knows what to do to make a car go fast around here. And if he doesn't, I'm going to be very surprised. So concluding lap number 3, let's see what he can do here. It's going to be a 39.647. Yes, it is going to be that. Totally didn't read it off the screen. So very good fall off at the moment, only 1.5 tenths. That's within the 2 tenths of fall off you really want to be in. Which, if we take that by the literal sense, it will be a 39.6 average. But it's going to be hard to top Nicholas Pressey's lap time, though. That's a very impressive run. And that should pretty much guarantee him a spot in the race.
Checkered flag.
As the last lap is now completed for Matt Wagner.
Good run there, Matt.
7:15, which is going to bring his average to a 39.6107. That's going to slot him nicely into second place. Of course, Edson Santos invalidated his first run.
Right, I have not got Lillock yet, so Brandon, please head out on track when you're ready.
Wagner is a bit disappointed with his run, but Lalexir not here. Hugo Gallas also not here at the moment, so they will all go out on track later. That means Brandon Thayer, our good friend of the show who was just in chat, is going to go out next. I'm going to be curious to see what he can do with all that VOR experience that he's got. Plenty of tips and tricks he's got from us. So if he can't pull in a clean lap, I'd be surprised. He's already wondering how much fuel he needs, so this can only go wrong. Because yes, technically you need 6 laps of fuel. 1 lap for the out lap itself, then the warm-up lap, and then your 2-time laps. So let's see if he has enough fuel.
Reminder, next lap, stay above 200 miles per hour. This is your warm-up lap coming.
So Brandon Thayer across the line to start the warm-up lap. Took a big speed down the front straight though. That might have hurt his tire prep a little bit. As the ideal way to set these cars up for a run is to build it up nice and slow. And even though cheesing or engine warming isn't allowed, these warm-up laps of course do help you get the temperature in the engine. So preparing your car the right way is very important to go fast, which I'm sure Nicholas Pressey has nailed today because
green flag.
He's got the best time here of the day at the moment. So green flag for Brandon Thayer across the line in the Jordan Motorsport Chevy. 224 out of turn 1. Quite a bit slower than what we've seen today from people like Dan Inch, for example, and Matt Wagner. Alright, let's bring up the good old graphics for the lap times. And it's a long way off. 39.986. I'm sure that initial speed down the front straight on the warm-up lap has cost him quite a bit of speed with the tire temps. And it will probably only drop from here. Which isn't the end of the world, as I mentioned. Drivers just need to get a lap time on the board, and that's going to be it. For at least the next 20 minutes or so until everybody else has run. So lap 2 is a 40.1. Clearly off the pace, so it's going to be nothing special. Going to slot in right to 5th place. And Hugo Gallas chiming in, he's going to make his attempt to qualify tomorrow. So out of 4 for lap number 3. And it's a 40.28. So for those who are just joining us, we got static weather conditions. This means all the drivers get the same conditions throughout the day. Which actually makes it a little bit easier because all you have to worry about is the setup and not the conditions changing. So 104 degrees Fahrenheit track temp, 40 degrees Celsius, 32 Celsius air, which is 90 degrees Fahrenheit. But Brandon Taylor crossed the line to complete his run.
Okay,
That's going
good
to
run,
be
Brandon. Please reset whenever you're ready.
a 40.5, which I would suspect is going to mean a 40.2 average.
John, whenever you're ready, please head out on track.
Rick Ravon not here today, or at least at the moment, so John Christensen going to be next one up. As we've got Dad Christensen in the chat. Hello to you, Scott. Should probably check my Instagram messages for the business we were discussing earlier. And iRacing isn't working. Now it is. There we go, John Christensen out on track. Let's go for an onboard run here with John Christensen, see what he can do.
The warm-up lap coming, must stay above 200 miles per hour.
He will bring the car up to speed first for his warm-up lap. Now remember, 200 miles per hour is the minimum speed.
Green flag.
Going through turn 4 now. It's been a pretty solid run for John Christensen. He's got a stable and fast race car underneath him. Let's see what is going to put on the board for him.
Second flag, John.
Currently tracking about
Good run.
4th quickest. And that's a 39.9 to close the run. But a very respectable run. And that is going to be it. So let's see who the next car is going to be. Is it going to be Eddie Pashi or Benjamin Rutsch maybe, or Jordan Hill?
Okay, because you missed a fair few runs. Lilac, I will allow it. If you are in the section and ready to go, I will send you.
Going to be Lilac Zier that's going to be next. Bit of confusion here at the moment. Nobody in line at the moment, so let's see what this is going to be all about.
Yep, that's fine. Head out on track whenever you're ready.
And we'll have somebody out on track here in just a second. And I believe it is going to be Lilac Zier. John's dad is happy with the run, solid run that'll put them in the show. And I expect nothing less from John. So here we go, we got another car out on track. And it is Lilac Zier in the Taylor Mills Racing number 89.
Reminder, the next lap is the warm-up lap. Stay above 200 miles per hour at all times. Okay, Lilac, I'm assuming your car's done. Just reset your car and wait till the lane's open, and then you'll get an opportunity to go again.
So Lilac aborting the run. That is going to hand the track over to Will Stearns.
Lucas, whenever you're ready, head out on track.
If Will is in here. And Will is not. At least I don't see him.
If I could ask you to just reset your car briefly, so over the face of the rules.
So next up is going to be Lucas
Again,
Santos in the...
make sure no one's
I have
ending
to
them.
check this on my sheet. The Screeching Moose Motorsport Chevy. That's a mouthful for me. And Lucas and I go back about 2 years now at this point. Great competitor here, knows his way around these ovals very well. Traveled the world up and down, not because he wants to. Well, maybe he does want to for his job. But I believe he is in Singapore now. So it's going to be a little bit early in the night for him. I would assume around 2 AM at the moment for him.
Warm-up lap next time by.
But that doesn't take away his dedication from the sim. He likes doing these kinds of events. And that shows because he is right here to, hopefully for him, put in a good qualifying attempt to start at the front of next week's PEC 500-mile race, which will be live right here on the Velocity Online Racing YouTube channel with myself in the booth, as well as Mike Wayne Robinson, who couldn't join me today, but will be there next week to call all the action. Let's see if we can sort these timing and scoring issues out here real quick. There we go. That looks a lot better. So let's track Lucas Santos' run here. As he's already completed lap number 1, he's on lap number 2 now. 39.790 is a little bit off. But not too bad. If he can keep the consistency up, he will be right there. Lap number 2 is a 7.66, so that's better than lap number 1. And don't be confused by the lap 1, 2, 3 on the screen, by the way. We only have lap numbers 1 through 3, the last 3 laps that we can show you. So lap number 1 is the warm-up lap. Lap number 2 really is lap number 1 of the run. So about half a tenth of fall off at the moment between the 4 laps, which really isn't bad. That's going to track him right about to a 39.79. Which will put him just behind Matt Wagner. And if we can finally sort these scoring problems out, in 4th place.
Flag, Edson, well done, good run. You can reset your car when.
And Liam went aero mode. That is Lucas Santos, not Edson Santos. So Lucas Santos completes his run. 39.8152.
Mitchell, you're free to head on track when you're ready.
So that's going to hand the track over to Mitchell Semido. I hope that's how you pronounce that name. In the second Prezi Motorsports Honda. And yes, 2 AM qualifying is crazy work. There's been plenty of people that have done it, that are continuing to do it. I am one of those that has done it, never again. It's not for me. It used to be during, well, I'm not even going to refer to that time. 4 or 5 years ago is the time period, which needs no introduction. But yeah, that's when we could do that, and not anymore. So let's see here what Semido can do on this run. I reckon he's going to be in about the top 3 with his teammates, or their teammates, sorry. Which will be right about a 39.54 in between, plus or minus a tenth of a second within that window.
Green flag.
So green flag is out for Semido as they're going to open the lap with 233 miles per hour into turn 1. That's the speed I wanted to see. drop off out of turn 2 is a little bit much, but the big speed is there down the straights. So I suppose if you gain it there, it doesn't really matter if you're on equal footing with everybody else. You still gain the mile per hour down the straight. So out of turn 4 for lap number 1. And that lap time will be a 39.500, which is an amazing opening lap compared to what we've seen so far today. So hopefully for Mitchell the fall off isn't going to be that bad. Let's see what the second lap is going to be. 5.93. That's an awesome amount of fall off. It's right within the same tenth of a second. As long as this third lap doesn't drop below a 6.5, I think it's going to be a 1-2 for the Prezi Motorsports Hondas here at the front of the field, at least for the time being. Lap 3, look for that 6.5, is just below that, the 6.71, but not too bad.
Checkered flag.
Alright, I want to see this average. This is going to be right up there at the front.
Okay, Nelson, well done. Please reset your car when you're ready.
That's a 7.58.
We have run through everyone who is in the session and have an opportunity to run. Give us 2 minutes and the lanes will be open. To submit an application, please just put your car number and say you would wish to run. In the Discord, there will be 2 channels that will pop up in the next 2-3 minutes.
So there you
the
heard it.
It's closed for any practice while this happens.
Track is now closed. All the drivers that are present have completed their runs. Bart is going to sort out the timing. This is Bart's first time doing this, so please bear with him. He's trying his best, which is much appreciated, of course, which saves me one task at least. So yeah, now what's going to happen is there's going to be 2 lanes. One lane is going to be the priority lane, the first lane. This means that if a driver goes in there, regardless if they already have a time or not, withdraws whatever they have on the board at that time to go first in priority. Lane 2 means that you can keep your last run lap time or lap speed, average speed I should say, and run again, which means that you do not withdraw. You can only try to improve, and if you go slower, you still maintain your time. So this is going to really come into play at the end of the day, where timing is going to be quite close and people might need to make another run at it to improve their positioning. But we'll step aside for a very quick break, and we'll be right back for the second part of day 1 with the next set of runs coming up.
SM mount one more run to the inside. Julian's going to block the inside. And Julien gets the win. Monkey off his back here at Texas. Oh, look at Brewer on the high side.
And that's an absolute hornet's nest now.
And boy, did he put a stomping on the field. Yes, Foreman, your winner at the Milwaukee Mile.
Wags dials up the bottom. Oh, he gets the rear end of Stout. Up and run, up and run. There goes Matt Wagner to the lead. Carroll Stout's in the outside wall. He spins up turn 2.
Here we come. He's going to set him up for the finish. Nunez with the lead coming off of 4. Here comes Jesper Orman. No, he does not. And Nunez gets the win by a nose.
Alright, welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. After a quick break, Matt Wagner is going to be going out on track to kick off the first runs of the first line. And I gotta say, the guy who made that video, the promo video, must be an awesome guy. There must have been a lot of effort into that video. The guy in question is me. So timing and scoring from the previous runs are all fixed. According to Bart anyway. So Wagner has to keep 200 miles per hour. Just flicked over it across the line. That's a very closely timed. Gotta keep over it. It's dropping below 199. And might have just got away with it. He has just got away with it, okay. So Wagner is gonna be allowed to keep his run, at least for the time being, unless that is now being investigated. But I don't think there is anybody currently in line to go again, so it doesn't really matter either way.
Green flag.
So green flag is out for Matt Wagner for his second attempt of the day. So Matt has withdrawn his time, as you can clearly see on the tower. That is the only thing that's about correct. But it is something. So let's bring up the lap times here for Matt Wagner. .39.471 is the fastest lap we've seen today, if I'm not mistaken. And let me quickly go check on what Nicholas Pressey has done. I can see that. Oh, there's all sorts of issues going on. Okay, let's go back to Matt Wagner, because apparently this is causing issues. So second lap, 39.602. Pretty big fall off, but the first lap was pretty big too, so I suppose it cancels each other out. Matt Wagner working the third lap right now. And by the way, this might be a run that is going to contend for the provisional pole. It's 39.642. That's an awesome amount of fall off. This is going to be right up there on the averages. Matt Wagner just has to complete that 4th lap. And then he will be pretty much guaranteed, I would say, a starting spot in the front 2 rows at least for next week's race.
Checkered flag.
So Wagner completing his run. Can he keep it in the 6s?
Well done, Matt. Please reset your car when ready.
Barely misses out on that 6, but it is still a 39.6057, which is going to slot him into 2nd
Lilac,
place.
when you're ready, head out on track.
Very nice run by Matt Wagner. As Lilac...
Oh no, sorry, correct that. Brandon first, head out on track when you're ready. Sorry, Lilac, my order mixed up.
So Brandon Taylor up next. Gonna go for his 2nd run, which I am almost certain he is going to improve upon. Alright, opening the run is Brandon Taylor, or Jordan Motorsports, sorry, as he is way off again into turn 1. Or is this his warm-up lap? I thought it was his 2nd lap already.
Green flag.
So now Brandon is going to open a run. Okay, so lap number 1, speed into turn 1. It's way off again. I don't think this is going to be much of an improvement, if anything. He's a solid 5 miles per hour off. So Brandon has withdrawn his time at the moment. It's a 40.0, which is actually an improvement on his last run, if I am not mistaken. So it will knock the average up a little bit, but not by too much. I reckon it will still be either with or just behind Dan Inch. But let's see how this 2nd lap shakes out. As it's going to be a 39.9. There we go, Brandon. Keep the foot in it. I was... Not to be confused, but let's go, Brandon. With the other thing that went on a few years ago. But, not to be confused with that. But let's go, Brandon. Keep your foot in it. Get some more 39s in there. Currently tracking better than Dan Inch's run, who I believe played it pretty safe with that 40.2 that is on the board at the moment. And it is a 40.02. Still gonna be tracking quicker though than Dan Inch. So that will slot him into 6th place. And not if he does that.
Brandon,
So.
I think you do your engine to reset.
Yeah, Brandon Terry just blew his engine. So that is going to be the run over for Brandon. And he is on a
Lilac, when you're ready, head out on track, reset your car, and head out on track.
no time set at the moment because he withdrew his previous run. So Lilac Zier now going to be next out on track. Hopefully Lilac can get in a clean run. The last one didn't go too well, as that one got aborted. And I have to say, usually I don't really like pink on race cars, but this livery does look pretty clean, I have to admit. More a pink purplish, but whatever, it still looks pretty good. So current people in lane 1, which is the priority lane, is the last car running at the moment, Lilac Zier. Then everybody in run 2 at the moment is Lucas Santos, Nicholas Pressey, Mitchell Samido and John Christensen. They are all going to be in that second lane, which means they do not withdraw their previous time. Now Lilac hasn't set a lap before, or a run before, so that is kind of irrelevant, but normally in that case their previous run would be removed from the timing pylon. But John has got a pretty decent time in on the books. So has Matt Wagner and Pressey, of course, the top 3 at the moment.
Okay, I believe green flag.
So warm-up lap is a 40.2. Which should give a decent indication of what the lap speeds are going to be on the run coming up. So the TMR Dallara going to complete the first lap here. Let's see if there's any decent amount of speed in this car. There should be, knowing the amount of open setup racing that this team does from time to time. And I believe Sophia Connell is also on the team now, who's a pretty decent setup builder. But doesn't sound too fast for turn 2 though, so that run might have been aborted, partially at least. And there's going to be more about getting something on the board, is what I would assume. And yes, that is a 40.0, so just slowly getting up to speed. Perhaps shaking off some rust as well. And lap 2 is slower. So definitely an easier run for Lilac Zier, as I am going to strongly assume that they're just getting the car up to speed at the moment, slowly but surely. And you've got about 2 and almost 3 hours to do so, so there's plenty of time to do that. As this run is again going to be aborted, so never mind all of that, still no run on the board for Lilac Zier, as the next car in line is going to be Nicholas Pressey.
Brandon, when you're ready, reset your car and head out on track.
And Brandon Thayer, just as I say that, jumped into line 1 to jump the queue. So Brandon Thayer going out again. Now remember, you get unlimited runs in whatever time was left after the guaranteed runs. Now, half the field wasn't there for their first guaranteed run, which means that they've waived that right. So now the entire day is going to be all about those being in lane 2, trying to better their time, and those joining late going to lane 1 and jumping the queue and
Brandon,
trying to get a good
time.
time.
If you're not ready, I will not send you.
So a little bit
I'm
of
ready.
confusion going on, and now Brendan is
You can
ready.
head out on track.
So whilst Brandon is going to run his out lap, I want to quickly show off what beautiful onboard cameras we have at our disposal for the race next week as well.
Am I on live here? How does this work?
So this is
In
the nose
both the
cam.
Discord and submit into lane 1 or lane 2 and you'll be put on track.
Gearbox is pretty nice view of any battles behind the race leader, of course.
If we could stay off the voice chat and text chat while people are talking, I've had a few messages, just keep it quiet so people can talk.
So the roll bar that you've already seen is right here. Then we've got a car just above the engine cover, or in front of the rear wing I should say, which is a special request by my good friend Gary Gotzo from P1 Broadcasting. Very lovely angle. Then the left rear suspension, another request by Gotzo. And we've got this beautiful gyro cockpit cam. The right front suspension. And they look out the back, the right rear suspension, technically. And this is basically what I see, except I see much more because I'm running an ultra wide screen when I'm racing. But Brandon completing his warm-up lap now.
Green flag.
As Brandon is going to open up his run. Let's see what he can pull out the bag this time. And it's once again a huge drop-off. And then hitting the wall. So that is going to be run done once again for Brandon Thayer.
Okay, Brandon, reset your car. Rick, whenever you're ready, reset your car in the pit lane and head out on track.
So now we're going to see some real heavy hitters. Rick Ravon is going to be doing his first run today. His first run wasn't attended to by him or his crew, so he's going to go out for his first one today. Not a guaranteed run, but he will be in lane 1.
Okay, Rick, could you reset your car just to make sure there's no engine room shenanigans for the sake of the rules? All good. You're free to go on track.
So Rick Ravon is going to be up next, as mentioned. Then after that is going to be Jordan Hale, teammate of Brandon Thayer, who will also make his first run of the day. Jordan Hale, that is. So here we go for Rick.
Reminder, the next lap
Ravon's
is
first
the
run.
warm-up lap. You must stay above 200 miles per hour.
Let's hope Rick remembers the procedure. Rick is a busy man. His entire family drives Hondas, which means that the Rick Mears special is in fact a Cosworth, but running a Honda badge on the side of the car, on the overlays at least. And I don't think Rick is getting the gist of it, but he's flat flooring it. Decent amount of speed though, so hopefully he can carry this on his first actual lap. Maybe Rick doesn't need to warm up, he's just like, you know what, I'll just go fast instead. So remember, this is the warm-up lap. This does not count towards the average.
Green flag.
As across the line he goes to open up the run. 2:31 into turn 1. Keeping an incredibly consistent speed. Just dips to 2:26. Keep it in 2:25. Just dips to 2:23. But he is really able to roll that speed through the corner, so that's going to be looking pretty promising for him. Small brush in the wall, but no harm, no foul for him. He's going to continue to run. So first lap was a 39.643, which is absolutely rapid, considering that he ran his warm-up lap at the speed he did. So I'm assuming Rick's car is going to be set up for consistency here, looking at the first 2 lap times that he did. And again, taking that warm-up lap with a grain of salt. Let's see if this second lap really is going to be in at 39.6 as well. If it is, then his car is definitely built for consistency. And it ticks to a 39.752. That's a big fall off. So that big warm-up lap really hurting Rick at the moment. And I think it's only fitting for him that we go to this camera angle here. From a similar time in life.
White flag.
So last lap coming up for Rick. Will he have enough fuel for this? Does he know that he needs to do another lap? I think he does. 39.766, which isn't awful. He'll still be well within the top 8. Top 5 even. Through turn 3, keeping that very Castroneves-like line that we saw from the laps before, just barely dipping a wheel over the white line here in turn 4.
Checkered flag.
But clearly the same driving technique as Castroneves here on the Speedway.
Good run, Rick, if you could reset the car.
And that's a 39.812, so not a bad run by any means. That is a 39.742. Which will slot him into 4th place very nicely. 5th place, sorry, very nicely. So great run here by Rick. I reckon there's much more speed in that car though.
Reset, Rick. You don't have to drive the whole way around.
So Jordan Hill, going by the #1 priority list, should be next in line.
Okay, Jordan, when you're ready, head to the pit lane and the track is yours.
I'll be curious to see what Jordan can do though, a teammate of Brandon's. Hopefully they found something on the setup because they quite desperately need it.
Reminder, next lap is your warm-up lap. Stay above 200 miles per hour at all times.
So let's see what another good friend from the past in the VOR series can do here. Warm-up lap needs to be above 200, which is the lap coming up now, I do believe. So as long as he stays above 200, he's fine. Can't dip below it. So whilst Jordan is building up his speed, I want to take a quick look at the fastest laps of the day so far. Mainly to properly show off what the actual overlay looks like for next week. But the fastest lap of the day belongs to Nicholas Pressey with a 39.425, the opening lap that we saw from the guaranteed runs. Matt Wagner second with a 39.471 fastest lap, and then teammate of Pressey, Samido, with a 39.5 to the dot. So 3 laps below that 39.5 mark, which is a very fast lap time around here in these conditions. So that is going to be the benchmark for lap number 1. Rick Ravon with a 39.643. A little bit behind that, but still a pretty decent fastest lap, as now Jordan Hill starting his run. I do believe he just brushed the wall. And he just did it again. So Jordan Motorsports clearly struggling.
Okay, Jordan, reset your car. And if you wish to submit a run again, in the Discord.
Clearly struggling with the setup of the car. And I'm assuming something on the aero
Lucas,
side,
if you're available, reset your car and head out on track.
Isn't really working for them. Perhaps bottoming the car too much in turn 2, and turn 1 for that matter. So up next from lane number 2 is going to be Lucas Santos. Jordan Hill has applied to be going back into lane 1. So just a reminder, Lucas Santos is on track now from lane 2, and as I mentioned, Jordan Hill will be going out next from lane 1. Then the next people in line in lane 2 are Nicholas Pressey, Mitchell Samido, so 2 of the Pressey Motorsports drivers, and then John Christensen. Now remember, line 1, you withdraw your time, you get priority, you can go as early as you pretty much like. Line 2 is you maintain your previous lap time, regardless if you go quicker or not, and you have second priority. So Lucas diving into turn 1 on his warm-up lap. In his Screeching Motorsports Chevy. And I'm assuming that Lucas is going to put up a pretty big number here on this second run. And I remember he was in line 2, so he's basically got nothing to lose. He's just going to try and put a stomper on the field here with this run. So let's see if he can manage to do so. Lucas usually has a good setup here around Indy. So let's take a quick ride here with the number 5 Chevy. Lucas Santos was improving, but Lucas has hit the wall, so that's going to be the end of his second run. Now remember, he was in line 2, so no worries for him. Like I said, he's got nothing to lose.
The track is yours again. Reset your car and head out on track.
The only thing he really lost was a bit of crash damage, but Jordan Hill is going to be up next. Let's see if he found any speed in the 5 minutes or so that he had. All right, let's see what Team Struggle Bus can do here on this. I believe it's at this point their 4th run in total as a team. Running the same setups, I would assume.
Okay, Jordan, green flag.
So green flag for Jordan. 230 across the line isn't too bad. It's another scrape on the wall. And another one. But he's still going, which is more than he's achieved so far. It has to be honestly said. But let's see if Jordan here can at least drive a 39 average. Within that second, that would be a pretty good start. So across the line, lap number 1 complete. And it is again a 40 flat. So these guys are clearly lacking a bunch of straight line speed. They're not necessarily losing a lot in the corners in terms of what's the word I'm looking for? My English has just gone blank. But they're not losing too much in the corners, it's just that they're so slow down the straight that they're really not pulling much lap time at all. Like they're clearly half a second off pretty much every single lap. And yeah, this one is clearly not gonna track into anything better than the 40 point whatever Brandon had earlier. So Jordan clearly off song coming into the pits.
Okay, Jordan, yeah, thank you for putting into the pits.
Waving off his own run here because he knows it's really nothing special at the moment. Which is
Brandon, head out on track when you're ready, reset the car.
the hard truth. Like this team really needs to find something in the setup to really do something with it, because at the moment they're just taking turns hitting walls, which you know, nobody likes to do as a driver. You just have to find something in the setup to make it drivable, and then you can start finding a little bit of speed to extract as well. So it looks like they will have to go back to the drawing board, and Rick Ravon is requesting an interview, so we can absolutely go talk to him. And there we go. Hi Rick, I believe it's the first time we are speaking to each other face to face. Already got a bit of a glimpse of what you felt about the setup, but just talk to the viewers on your run plan, because it was very interesting how you went for it, giving it the full beans on the warm-up lap.
Well, yeah, I didn't really know what to expect with it. It's been a very busy Saturday for us, so I was gifted a pretty decent setup, and I wanted to practice with it, but I just didn't have time. So I saw that the session was up, and I said, well, you know what? I might as well use the warm-up lap to get a feel for it. I was given instructions too. I don't know if I should give on-air credit to who gave me the setup, but I'm not sure how that would work. But thanks to who gave it to me. It was a solid setup. I used the warm-up lap to gauge what it might do, and it did drop off a little bit, but it's quick enough to get us in the show. So I guess that's really the most important part of it, because it's a 500-mile race, and you're not going to win this dang thing on lap 1, or any race for that matter, but especially a marathon like a 500-miler.
100%. So now I have to ask you a question. Did you take any of the Hondas into the shop today?
Did I take what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Did you take any of your family's Hondas to the shop today, or did you not?
Homeless to the shelter?
Hondas, the cars.
I'm going to allow one.
Hondas. See, I'm sorry, there's a little language barrier there. No, we are a Honda family. You know, it was asked, what do you want, Chevrolet or Honda? And I went, let me think about that. 5 seconds later, I said, wait a minute. I drive a Honda Accord. My wife drives a Honda CR-V. My two daughters have an Accord and a Civic. I've got a scooter. It's a Honda Metropolitan. I was like, we're a Honda family. What is there to think about? Yeah, man, throw Honda on the car.
It's the next best thing after Cosworth, right? So
just
talk to us about your plan for the rest of the day. Are you going to go again, or do you think this time will get you in the field safe and you don't really need to think about it until maybe tomorrow?
Well, I saw that this speed put us in 5th. I know that's not going to stick, but I mean, even if we're halfway up in the field or even in the bottom half, doesn't matter. As long as we're in the show, I'm not going to go again. I just wanted to get it in the field safely. Again, you know, it's a very busy Saturday, and I do have another league race coming up at 5 o'clock, so don't have a lot of time to re-engage with this, and there's a lot of fast guys out. There's really no point. You know, if there's a fast 9 and some shootout or something like that, I wouldn't be around for it anyway. So as long as we're in the show, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'll leave you to your busy schedule then as we look to Nicholas Pressey's run. So enjoy the rest of your day, Rick. Good job on the run so far, and see you next week for the race.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, Lord Altena.
All right. That was my first time talking to Rick. Interestingly enough, like I've known the guy for 5 years. I raced with him 5 years ago in my own series, and I never actually spoke to him face to face, so to speak, behind the mic. As interesting as that sounds. But yeah, Nicholas Pressey now on his run. Second run of the day. He was in the second lane. Going out again. And I believe this is the warm-up lap. So getting up to speed, going through turns 3 and 4 now. Out of turn 4, let's see if Nicholas can pull anything out of his head again for this second run. Can he improve on his first flyer of a run that he said earlier in the day, about an hour ago at this point? And I think I just briefly saw 224 into turn 1. That's absolutely incredible. 229 into turn 2. 226, 25, 4. I just barely dropped to 224. But really impressive speed through turn 1 there. Down the back straight, again climbing up to 233. Just keeps it in 233. But this is going to look like another big run here. As the warm-up lap was a slow one, 42.0, which is almost exactly what you need to maintain that speed limit, and then the tire temps, pressures, and everything else. And look at the speed, 8:39.398, the fastest lap of the day, single fastest lap of the day by Nicholas Pressey, clearly finding time in the setup. As down the backstretch he goes for lap number 2. And let's see what the fall off is going to be. This is going to be the main topic of the day, the entire evening. As we are coming up to around about halfway through the first day of qualifications here at Indianapolis. Is it going to be a 0.4 or will it drop to a 0.5? Let's see. It's a 4.87. It's a very impressive second lap, which I believe would still be the fastest lap of the day. If not, it wouldn't be very much slower if it was slower than the fastest lap of the day. So currently tracking to be around a 39.44, which is very impressive. Coming through turn 4 again for this third lap. And I have a pretty decent feeling this is going to be a new provisional pole speed. As lap number 3 is a 39.556, which is only just barely slower than his average. So this is clearly tracking in the right direction. About finding a tenth of a second at the moment is Nicholas Pressey. And just the speed that he's able to carry through these turns is incredible compared to everybody else. There's just little to no scrub, which was the word I was looking for earlier. Lap number 4
Check
is
the flag, Nicholas.
Going to be question mark.
Okay,
a 39.634. That is a very impressive run.
Cache car number 66. I still require your Discord name. If you could text me that over in iRacing chat, I can then add you, so then you are allowed to make a run.
So just waiting on the timing screen to be updated. There we go. That's a 5.31. That's about a tenth of a second gain, or a hundredth of a second gain, I should say.
It's Jordan next. Jordan, reset your car and head out on track.
So very impressive run from the second line in the pits. Up next is going to be Jordan from line number 1. So we got Jordan and then Brandon coming up in line number 1. Hopefully for them they found some speed, because the last couple runs have been very disappointing to say the least. As we take another look at the fastest laps, single fastest laps, 39.398 as we just saw by Nicholas Pressey, and Wagner and Samido still on the same lap times they've run earlier today in their runs. But let's see what Jordan Hale can do here today on his, I believe, third run at the moment. And Nicholas Pressey happy with that run, understandably so. Very impressive run. So Jordan now building up the speed, finishing his warm-up lap, pulling the speed down the front straight. It's a solid 3 miles per hour slower than he still needs to be, and well, the balance is looking slightly better than what it used to be. And never mind, that's another tap for the wall, and another run down the drain for Jordan Motorsports as a whole. And speaking of as a whole, the team is also in. is going to be really hard to climb back out of, but
you could reset your car and head out on track. You're free to go, so go on.
Alright, Brendan Taylor up next in the other Jordan Motorsports
Chevy. Already holding down the reset button.
Yeah, no worries.
It's currently 9:30 p.m. Central European time. That means that we are now halfway through day 1. 90 minutes on the clock, 90 minutes left to go. As Brandon Taylor hoping to get in a clean run. Remember, in 1.5 hours time, the final run of the day will be contested. And we will do it all over again tomorrow. So Brandon on the warm-up lap, gonna build up the speed now through turn 3. Short shoot leading to turn 4, and now he picks it up. Alright, lap number 1 complete for Brandon. It's been a very clean and safe one. Which hasn't been particularly quick. But it is a lap nonetheless, which is more than they've done for the past couple runs. keeping it nice and out of the wall, out of turn 2 on lap 2. Let's see what lap number 2 is. The last run that he completed, at least, Brandon was able to do a 39. Can he do it again? Just barely misses out, but close enough. 40.09, which at the moment will track him to be a 40.12, which will be a 1.1 tenths clear of Dan Ench at the moment. Doing quick maths in my head, which is not my strongest subject, so take that with a grain of salt. So 40.34 in the last lap. That's going to drop the average down to be right with Dan Ench. But that's not the end of the world. As long as you get a run in that is on the board, you should pretty much be guaranteed a starting spot in the race. Because remember, we are expecting more drivers to sign up and race, qualify their way into the race tomorrow. But we are not expecting more than 33.
Hey, well done,
so
Brandon. Please reset your car.
Getting a run in is the most important thing, which he has finally done, as that is going to be a 40.3 again on the second lap, so that will probably be around
again, I've had 2 team cars go. I'm going to let one from lane 2 go. Mitchell, if you'd like to head on track, reset your car.
And it's just barely quicker than Dan Ench. So a very decent run by Brandon here, to at least get the car in the show. Now, this brings me to my next point. If you are somebody who is watching this stream, and you are like, this time next week does work pretty well for me, but I'm not able to qualify today. You can qualify and sign up tomorrow and still make your way into the race. Just join the PEC Discord. The link is in the description. We had some difficulties with that early in the week, but the link should be working. If it is not, let me know and I will fix that for you. But you can join the Discord, sign up and qualify for the race tomorrow. And then race next week on the 26th of July, same time, same place, same everything else, just a week later. And you can race with these guys here for the first and inaugural PEC 500 mile race. Now, if you are more of an endurance kind of driver, the PEC is the Platinum Endurance Championship. Details are still being discussed, but a new season will be upcoming pretty soon here in a few weeks. So make sure to join the Discord and keep an eye out on that for the latest information. Again, join the Discord and you can find pretty much everything you need right there. So Mitchell Semedo is out on track now, teammate to Nicholas Pressey. Should be a similar speed in that car compared to what his teammate has, or their teammate has.
Okay, green flag.
So green flag is now out for the second run for Mitchell Semedo. And let's bring up the driver inputs here. Didn't quite get the speed through turns 1 and 2, but the exit wasn't too far off. And there we go, 234 miles per hour into turn 3, which is 1 mile per hour better than Nicholas managed to do. Down the front straight. And I'll be really curious to see how this run is going to stack up towards the front of the field here. Wee woo, wee woo. Very decent opening 2 laps, 39.513, 39.566 for Mitchell Samido. And that is going to be right with teammate Nicholas Pressey for 2nd place at the moment. Not quite as much of a banging opening lap as Pressey did about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. But still quite impressive nonetheless. Clearly the class of the field at the moment on setup is the Pressey Motorsports team. And it's a 6.38 for the 3rd lap. Really not that big of a fall off at all. So lane 1 is quickly filling up. I do believe we are going to get either another run from Jordan Hill or Eddie Pashi is going to go for his first run. Of course, Pashi missed the first one
Checkered
today.
flag. Well done, Mitchell. If you could reset your car when ready.
39.75 for the final 4th lap of the run, which I do believe will slot Mitchell into 2nd place on the running order.
Jordan, you will be next on track. Reset your car and head out when you're ready.
Look at that average coming down for Mitchell Samido. That's gonna go down 1 click more. Oh, it's just to 4th place. Wow, okay. I thought that car had a little bit more in it, but still 4th place is a decent run. It didn't look all that bad. As we now watch Jordan Hill going out again. Looking for a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, I guess you can say, because it's been a pretty long tunnel for these guys so far. And it is very much the Jordan and Brandon show at the moment. Those two guys clearly struggling for speed, trying to gain anything they can. Going for as many runs as you can, and that's kind of what you get when you get unlimited runs. You just get a couple guys that just think, you know what, let's just throw the kitchen sink at it every single run we do and hope for the best. And they have nothing to lose anyway. So Jordan currently does have an invalidated run, though it is one nonetheless. A 59.9922 on the board. After he aborted the previous run, as did Lilac Zier, by the way. So those two on the bottom part of the top 10. As now Jordan across the line to open up his run with a 41.65. Actually, I do believe that is the warm-up lap, so never mind that. That is the warm-up lap. Let's see, do we have anybody else for interviews? I do not see anybody. Next Saturday, can we do the traditional pace laps like the real Indy 500? I am not in charge of the event, I'm just the organizer this time around. That would be a question better referred to for Liam O'Sullivan. I can ask him that actually personally for you. So let's give Liam a minute to reply to that. As Jordan Hill finally gets in a good lap, 39.723, clearly finding speed. clearly throwing the kitchen sink at it because they just gained half a second. And look at it. This instantly half a second gained. Almost anyway. 7.96 for lap 2. This is looking very promising finally for Jordan Hill and Jordan Motorsports. And next week's race will have 2 pace laps and then here it comes, a 3-wide start. Coming out of turn 4, Jordan Hill for lap number 3. Starting lap number 4. How big is the fall off going to be? Going to be a 39.869. Again, a big improvement from the last run. Now he just needs to keep it clean and not abort the run. The speed is there to put it in the top 8. And just like that, we've done another tour around Indianapolis.
Checkered flag, Jordan.
Checkered flag for Jordan Hill on his first actual representing
Well done for
run.
finishing a run there. Good run. Reset your car when you're ready.
And it's, again, under the 40 seconds, which is the most important thing for this team. To finally see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Edelson, when you're ready, reset your car. The track is yours.
And that is P7 on the timing chart. Excellent job there by Jordan. Didn't quite catch the name while I was talking there.
Car 66, Edelson Pache. If you're ready, the track is yours.
So Edelson Pache gonna go out next. We'll just refer to him as Eddie. It's much easier, much shorter. There we go. So I've never actually seen Pache before. I believe they are a driver that run in the Endurance Championship. So I believe this will be the first time that this team in general is going to make an IndyCar start. So I'll be very curious to see the speed they may or may not have. It's a very slow crawl out of the pits for them.
Reminder, the next lap is your warm-up lap. You must remain above 200 miles per hour at all times.
Alright, here we go for the first run of Eddie Pache. Out of turn 4, very smooth on the wheel, taking the same line Rick Ravon took earlier.
Flag.
Which is a longer distance, but maintains the speed off the corner a little bit more. And it's not anything special through turn 1. Turn 2 is a little slow. One would assume that this is just a warm-up run, really. Not a warm-up lap, but a warm-up run. Just to get familiar with the car, with the setup. Perhaps feel what adjustments you need to make, and then work from there. So lap 1 is a 40.1, as mentioned, it is a little bit slow. Still quicker than most of the runs from Jordan Motorsport though, until the last one. Out of 4, clean run up to the line to start lap number 3. next to no fall off, which is a start for a new team at Indianapolis. Of course, I don't think we need to talk about new teams at Indianapolis with Prema getting pole this year, but you still have to ease into the process, which they very much did earlier in this calendar year in May, about 2 months ago now. Again, not much fall off, so it's all about getting in that clean run, and at the moment it is still tracking to be 9th quickest.
Checkered flag.
Final run complete for Eddie Pashi across the line. And
okay, good run, Edelson. Don't know if you're aware because I only just hooked the other discord, but I mean that was a good run itself. But there is a baseline setup. If you scroll to the top of the announcements channel if you need any further help with the setup.
So there we go. That is a 40.1.
If you could reset your car when you're ready.
And as mentioned, that will jump him up to P9 on the list. So a very decent job there for newcomer Pashi.
Brandon, when you're ready, reset your car and head out on track.
Alright, let's see what Brandon Terry can do this time around. His teammate Jordan Hill did a very impressive run here 5 minutes ago. 39.835 is the average for Jordan. Let's see if Brandon can match or better that. I think this is going to be a pretty good one. So let's just sit back, relax and enjoy the run with a newly found level of speed for Jordan Motorsports.
Green flag. Checkered flag, Brandon.
Alright, that's a decent run done for Brandon Taylor. All
Well
three
done,
laps
good
were
run, if you could reset your car.
within the 39.83 range to 8.5. Fourth one is going to bump the average a little bit down to just behind Jordan Hill.
If John the walking WW Christensen could please reset their car and head out on track.
And it will be 9th place for Brandon Taylor. So very decent run there. Finally got a clean one in, which is the most important thing for Brandon at this stage in the day. And now John Christensen going to go out for his second run of the day. In one of the better looking cars in the field. No bias whatsoever. So John was just relaxing, let's just keep it at that, before the runs, because he had plenty of time to do so. Watching some old Indy 500s, hopefully that's helped him find a little bit of speed to maybe jump up to the top 2, or at least in front of Matt Wagner. So warm-up lap for John Christensen. Let's see what he can do as he goes through 3 and 4 once again.
Green flag.
Now let's watch this speed. Currently got the 5th fastest time of the day, single fastest time of the day. 2:32 going into turn 1. Just a little bit below what the provisional pole sitter of Pressy has done, but decent amount of speed through turn 2. Can he get up to 2:34 maybe at the end of the straight? It's just 2:32 again. So just lacking a little bit, maybe a little bit too much downforce, maybe a little bit too much ride height in the car. But I on first glance, I don't think this will be an improvement, but maybe John will prove us wrong. As the first lap is at 39.632, which isn't bad, but still slower than his average that he already has on the board. So I don't think this is really going to go anywhere for John, unfortunately. So lap 2, 39.745. And again, still slower than his original average speed. So lap number 3 is slower yet again, 8.53. So we're just gonna wait for the next car to open up a run. As I will quickly go and check who that is. And we have Jordan Motorsports switching to lane 2 now, finally. Jordan Hill gonna be lining up in lane 2. Brandon Taylor lining up into lane 2. I believe we got
Check the flag, John.
Lilac Zier and Mitchell Samido still yet to go from lane 2 from way earlier in the hour. Those requests being made 45 minutes ago, so it's been a pretty long time for them to wait. As John did in fact not improve. So he will maintain his previous run. and perhaps go back to the drawing board from
Lilac,
there.
if you're available, reset your car and head out on track.
So here we go for the third run, in fact, of the Pink Pantheress, I guess we can call her. So that first run put Lilac Zier 12th after that run was aborted on the final lap. And the first one was aborted after just the first lap. So this will be the third run of the day. And they usually say the third time's the charm, so hopefully that is the case for Zier here. In the number 89 Taylor Mills Dallara, because we don't have a manufacturer choice submitted before for the broadcast. So the best lap until then was a 40.0. So let's see if this run is going to be an improvement. Warm-up lap underway. Climbing up the gears, gaining speed, coming to the line to start the run.
Green flag.
If the speed is above 230, this will probably be a pretty respectable run. 231 going into turn 1. Gotta maintain 224 at least, and that is the case. So it's a big gain in speed at least through turn 1. Not as much as turn 1 and turn 2, losing speed to 220. But finding the speed back quite quickly, going into 3, just a little bit too much scrub. But it is a start. It's Lilac Zier out of 4 coming to complete lap number 1. It's almost certainly going to be an improvement from the earlier run. And there we go, it's a 39.875, so gaining a solid 2.5 tenths over the previous personal best single lap. It's interesting to me that all these cars are seemingly taking that higher Castroneves-esque line, which you normally don't really see. You usually see people running below the white line with the left sides, but not today. As the second lap is a 39.93, so still quicker than the previous run. So tracking 10th at the moment. Very decent run so far. Which is all you really need at the end of the day on opening day here at Indianapolis. So an hour left of running. Working lap number 4. Third lap did drop to 40.1. But the run overall is still a massive improvement. Oh, just barely keeps it out of the wall, does Lilac Zier across the line. And it is going to be... Will it be
Checkered
P10?
flag. Well done, Lola. Good one. You could reset your car.
Sliding
Mitchell,
into
if
the
you're
top
ready,
10
reset
be
your
like.
car and head out on track.
I'm guessing at least. It should be the top 10.
For everyone's information, we have 58 minutes of running to go.
I do believe there is a small issue with timing here because I'm being displayed 1 hour 46 minutes left, even though I know the clock ends in 56 minutes. So just give me one quick second as I put the cameras on the right person at least, then go fix that. Can't find who is on track. That's always a good start. Mitchell should be on track. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna step aside for one quick moment, see if my data is correct, and we'll be right back for more coverage.
Can Sem mount one more run to the inside? Julien's going to block the inside. And Julien gets the win. Monkey off his back here at Texas. Oh, look at Brewer on the high side.
And that's an absolute hornet's nest now.
And boy, did he put a stomping on the field. Yes, Foreman, your winner at the Milwaukee Mile.
Wax dials up the bottom.
Oh,
he gets to the rear end of Stout. Up and run! Up and run! There goes Matt Wagner to the lead. Carroll Stout's in the outside wall. He spins up turn 2.
Here we come. He's going to set him up for the finish. Nunez with the lead coming off of 4. Here comes Jesper Orman. No, he does not. And Nunez gets the win by a nose.
Alright, welcome back once again to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where we have 54 minutes on the clock. Something going wrong with iRacing that is giving the incorrect information, but I'm here to save the day and inform you guys that this is the final hour of running here today. So 53 minutes now left on the clock, as Mitchell Semedo puts on a very impressive opening lap to go to improve his fastest lap time of the day to a 39.506. Second lap was a 39.604. Third lap was a 39.646. Currently running the fourth lap of the run. And I do believe this will be close to an improvement, if not being an improvement. That opening lap was just a hair off the personal best, by the way. Fastest time of the day.
If you could reset it. Thank you.
Still in the hands of Nicholas Pressey. As
You said I was up?
average of Semedo.
No, hang on a minute. Yes, Jordan, you're next. Reset your car and head out.
The average is slower than the original, so being in line 2, the original time stands. So back over to Jordan Hale now. Now for those who are just joining us today, this is opening day of qualifications for the PEC Indy 500 next week on July 26th. We've got about half the field here today qualifying, and then we'll have a bunch more qualifying tomorrow. for the final starting spots if you would like to be involved for the race next week, which will be broadcasted by myself and Mike Wayne Robinson behind the mic. You can still sign up. The Discord link is in the description. Join that, sign up, and you should be able to qualify tomorrow for the race. And for the record, everybody has equal chances here, with static weather being at play. We've got 90 degrees air temperature, that's Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Celsius. A track temp of 104 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 40 degrees Celsius. For the European people, my European friends. So let's see what Jordan Hill can do on this next run. The Jordan Motorsports team has found something on the last run. Let's see if they can improve upon it. As the green flag is now out for Jordan Hill, who hasn't led any laps because this is qualifying. So first lap of this run was a 39.734, which is almost exactly 1/10 faster than the average of the previous run Jordan put down. Lap 2 is gonna drop to a 8.01, but still not too far off what it needs to improve up at least one position, but at the moment it is tracking to be a 0.7.
Okay, Jordan, if you could reset your car.
Never mind. That is a withdrawn run, or a aborted run, I should say. But the speed is in the car, which is very promising to see.
Brandon, reset your car and head out when you're ready.
So it looks like Jordan Motorsports has found the default setup that was provided as an option to all members. Now this is an open setup event, which I actually completely forgot to disclose. This is an open setup event. So you can bring your own car, so to speak, and go racing. But Brandon and Jordan clearly not finding something in their own stuff, so they are resorting to the off-the-shelf car from the showroom, and it's clearly quicker. So opening lap is a 7.54 in the 39-second bracket. Currently track 6, but that's of course going to drop when the average drops as well. 39.800. It's going to be a 39.777. Still tracking 6 at the moment. As lap number 3 is going to be a 39.872. Which will bring the average to a 39.79. And 9. Which will be 7th provisionally by my calculations. So coming out of turn 4, lap number 4. It's not run number 4, but probably like 6 or 7.
Okay, reset your car. John, get ready to go back out of track whenever you're ready.
And that's a very decent run.
I could ask you to reset your car and then you can head out on track.
I will wait for the times to be updated, but I'm pretty sure that was a slight improvement for Brandon, and there it is. 8.452. As it's still being updated, so that is P9 just behind Jordan Hill, his teammate. About 4,000ths of a second over a 2.5 mile lap, 10 mile run. Not too bad. Pretty close. It's about equal, about as equal as you can probably get on a 4 lap average, sorry. I am scrambling to find who is on track. I just can't find the button. That's funny, but not really.
Green flag, John.
John is on track. There you go. That always helps. So John Christensen on his third run of the day. Gonna open with the warm-up lap 40.6. The last lap of John's previous run, as you can see on the screen, was at 39.908, which was not an improvement. It's a reasonable opening lap, 6.47, which is a 10th quicker than his average. John, coming off the back of a pretty decent week in racing on Wednesday night in the Global IndyCar Challenge on Green Flag TV, was running third for most of the race, but unfortunately ate through the tires a little bit too much and dropped to fourth. But still a very respectable finish nonetheless at Iowa. Hopefully John can have another decent run here next week at Indianapolis. But John clearly one of the stronger qualifiers in any series he runs in, as his second lap now is a 39.751, which is still quicker than his average at the moment, pending more laps in this run. So we have about 40 minutes and 44 seconds on the clock. Once the timer hits 50 minutes, that will be it for the day. League event organizers taking into consideration a bit of extra time needed for final runs at the end of the day, but also of course the session opening for 10 minutes of practice earlier. So there is a 4-hour window in which we can do 3 hours of running basically. So of that 3 hours of running we have 40 minutes left. As John consistently running that 39.782 now. So almost certainly going to improve the average by a little bit. That first lap clearly gaining him some momentum on the run.
Checkered flag, John.
As the number 4 Velocity Online Racing Chevy goes across the line to complete run number 3. This fourth lap is going to be a 39.8. 9.37.
Okay, John, reset when ready. Make sure you are next on track. Reset your car and head out when ready.
Alright, here we go. Crunch time once again. Can Mitchell Simido jump to second or even knock Nicholas Pressey off the top spot? Let's see. As we'll give Pressey Motorsports people another run where we just sit back and watch.
checkered flag. Okay, good run, Mitchell. If I could ask you to reset your car.
Alright, there's another...
Lucas, get ready to head back out. Reset your car and head on track.
Another run done for Samido, and that is... not quite updated yet, but it did look pretty promising. As I'll bring the lap times up once again. Ending on a 7.55, which was a bit of a slow final lap of that run. And that does actually make me think that wasn't an improvement on that last run.
Green flag.
Right, Lucas Santos back on another run. I believe that is the third run in total of the day. First run was enough for 7th place. The second run ended in the wall on the final lap of the run. And now here is another one. Let's see what Lucas can do here. In the number 5 Screeching Moose Motorsport Chevy. First lap complete. And that is going to be a 39.667. Very nice first lap by Lucas. Oh, and he loses it again out of turn 2. This time much earlier in the run.
Lucas, if you could reset your car when you stopped.
And that is run done for Lucas
Driver
Santos.
Matthias Marcomini, if you'd like to reset your car and then head out on track.
That's Matthias Ezequiel Marcomini. I can't pronounce his name, I tried. I hope when he watches this back he appreciates it. Probably not, but I tried. Matthias Marcomini, running in the VOR series, I believe also making a start in the
Again, car
in the
number
Voter
77,
series.
Matthias Marcomini, if you could reset your car and you're free to go.
We're just waiting for Matthias to go. Probably not really getting the gist. It's a new format for a bunch of people.
Yes, hello, if you could reset your car, could you stop and reset your car and then you can head out.
There you go. Alright, let's see what Matthias Marcomini can do on his first run of the day. Marcomini, one of the drivers who missed their initial run of the day. So this is very much going to be the first outing of the number 77.
Reminder, the next lap is your warm-up lap. You must stay above 200 miles per hour at all times.
So Marcomini building up speed. Marcomini is shown as independent, but he did used to race, or if I don't know if he still does, but for iRacing Argentina. Which I do believe are a pretty decent group of guys here at iRacing in the IndyCar. So Marcomini Has to maintain 200 miles per hour. Just barely does it. Oh, can't dip below it. Cutting it close. Weaving a little bit to build some tire temperature. Shouldn't overdo it though, because it will cost you performance down the line.
It'll be green flag this time.
So now Marcomini has to gain speed quickly, or else he's going to be on the back foot for the run. He has to be above 230 miles per hour at the line, and he's just below it. So this first lap is not really going to be representative, as he's very high. I don't think he's got the car quite underneath him to do anything with it. And yeah, just the car is just displaying a similar level of body language or chassis language, I guess you should call it, with these cars, as the Jordan Motorsports crew had earlier today, until they switched their setups around to something that was a little bit more commonly used. And Marcomini just getting a run on the board, it seems. So Lucas Santos is done for today. Too much crash damage to go out again. At least for today. So next up in line is going to be, I believe, Lilac Zier after this. Going from lane 2. So Marcomini is the first and only driver currently in lane 1, and of course Marcomini is out on track at the moment, so Marcomini at the moment tracking for a 40-second run, which will be with or just behind Lilac Zier, who hasn't really put in a representative time either. So just a couple warm-up runs going on at the moment. Not too much effort being put into these cars at the moment. Just getting something on the board is all you need to do.
Check and flag until if you could reset your car.
So that is the run done for Marcomini, 40.628, which will be 13th in the running order.
Okay, Lilac, if you're ready, please reset your car and head out on track.
Alright, here we go again for another attempt by Zier in the number 89 Taylor Mills Dallara. Gently building up the speed. You don't want to do it too much, because remember, you have a warm-up lap as well and then 4 time laps. In these temperatures, you'll want to keep the tires underneath you as long as you can. So that means minimizing the scrub without dropping below 200 miles per hour. You can clearly hear it. That's going to clearly drop it. But this is the out lap, so that's not going to matter too much. I've got a bit ahead of myself here. So as long as the warm-up lap is above 200 miles per hour, it's okay. And there's just way too much understeer in it, and that's going to invalidate the run, I believe. Race control is letting this one slide for a change. And that's the end of the run again for Lalixir, crashing into the wall.
Okay, if you could reset your car, head back to the pit. Thank you. Reminder, we have 25 minutes to go. Jordan, if you're here, reset your car and go out on track.
That's okay, Christian. For those of you who are tuning in and want to be involved, if you join the Discord server, which is in the description, if I'm not mistaken, you should be able to join the Discord still. Then sign up for the event and you will be allowed to qualify tomorrow. Just be mindful that you do need to qualify to be able to race. Once you miss qualifying, you will not be allowed to race, as far as I'm aware. And there you go. Discord link is also posted in chat. So Kostek Sulovic is going to be next in line for the Fury Motorsports team. So Jordan Hill on his run from lane 2, not withdrawing the previous time. And after this it will be Kostek Sulovic making his first run of the day. And there's a decent amount of speed in the car at the moment, 231. Not too bad, not too slow. Certainly not great either, but it's better than it was earlier today. Doesn't look like it's going to be an improvement from 39.835 that he has set earlier today though. For the 973, it's up there. It is up there. It did look really slow, but it apparently wasn't. Maybe there's more speed to be found in the gearing. Who knows? So across the line, Jordan goes for another second lap in the run. Will it drop? Yes, it does drop by about a tenth of a second to an 8.23, sorry. Oh, and that's going to be it for Jordan Hill, not completing the run.
Okay, Kostek, reset your car and head out when you're ready.
So we're going to pass the torch over to Kostek Sulovic in the green car. Usually that means really bad luck. Hopefully for him that won't be the case.
Reminder, the next lap is your warm-up lap. You must remain above 200 miles per hour at all times.
I want to watch this run myself. I think Kostek is going to do a really good run here. Kostek, one of the drivers who runs in the VOR IndyCar series, and used a few races last season to gain some experience on ovals, including in the Formula Indy series on the P1 channel, and he has certainly shown his improvement on these kinds of tracks. Oh, that's below 200.
Okay, Kostek, you've dropped below the 200 mile per hour threshold. This run is waved off. Can you please reset your car?
So never mind, Kostek invalidates his run by going below the...
You can reapply and go back in lane 1.
That's gonna invalidate that run.
Brandon, reset your car and head out on track when you're ready.
So Brandon Tay, you're gonna go back out. As we have 20 minutes, 19 minutes on the clock. As we got Nicholas Pressey in waiting room. Hello Nicholas, you got a copy?
Yes I do, how are you doing?
I am very good. I'm assuming you must be doing pretty good as well, sitting on the top of the pylon. What did you find in the setup that really got you the edge over the rest of the field?
Well, we felt pretty good about what we had at the end of practice yesterday. We were tooling around with some stuff with the cameras last night, and we made a couple last minute tweaks in the qualifying session today, which worked out for the most part. You know, I'm feeling good about it. Mitchell's feeling pretty good about it too. We're hoping that when Bryce gets his chance tomorrow, that he'll be good at it.
All right. Well, you got any expectations from your race setup for next week's race? Have you had any chance to work on that yet, or have you just been completely focused on qualifying so far?
Oh, we spent most of this today's practice working on it, and it's horrible.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. There's a lot we gotta fix with it. Everything's all wrong, and we're kind of working backwards here.
Yeah, that is a pretty common theme here recently, with some updates to the track and to the car and just to the surface in general. So luckily for you guys, you got a whole week to figure it out. You guys planning to run again here later today, or is that it for today?
No, we're done for today. Tomorrow we'll just be focusing on Bryce, and if the track's dead, we might do some. We might try again. But for now, we're happy with how it is.
Copy that. Well, I guess I'll leave you guys to it to and I guess enjoy the rest of the runs here, as we're currently watching Brandon Taylor. So best of luck if you do run tomorrow, and if not, best of luck to your teammates, and we'll see you next week for the race.
Thank you very much.
And just like that, we have the next person in line. Hello Dan, how are you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So tell me about that run from earlier today. That was a 39.6915, which is currently 4th quickest. How did the car feel? And I guess my second question after that right away is, are you going to run again today?
The car felt great. That was a banker lap for me. I probably could have peeled a little off the wings and gone a little faster, but I wanted to make sure I got a solid run in just to make sure. And I am mulling over whether or not to go back out again. I really haven't made up my mind. I told myself last night if I made the top 5, I would go ahead and try for the pole. But not that many guys have qualified so far, so it's a decision that I've got, what, 5 minutes left to make?
I would assume so, yeah. You can always try and jump into line 2, see if anybody withdraws or skips their run, which is, I believe lane 2 is the no-risk lane, so to speak. So if you jumped into that, you wouldn't lose your time and you can still go again. And if you don't improve, you still keep your old time. So I suppose you could do that. Or you could go again tomorrow if you really feel like it.
Yeah, I think I'll wait and see what
Brandon.
I know we're going to get at least 10 or 15 more guys out tomorrow, and I want to see where that puts me.
Please reset
If it
your car.
puts me mid-pack, I'm not really going to try to fight
go.
for the pole that much. I'll be happy with what I got. Just just go with that.
Please reset your car, and you're free to go on track.
Copy that, as Liam is instructing Brandon to get off the track there. But yeah, that does sound pretty sensible, as the next car is going out on track again. Dan, I'm gonna hand the mic over to you, because I assume you will have something that you would very much like the world to know about. Of course, you've been a long-time friend of mine and also a supporter of the series with alz.org, which I'm sure most of the regular viewers already know something about, but for the new ones, you take it away, Dan.
Well, thanks, Julien. Yeah, I do my racing for alz.org. I display it very proudly on the side of my car. I do it because I have a vested interest in this topic, trying to battle Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's Association helps out a lot. And, of course, I do it because my mom is currently suffering from Alzheimer's disease and is currently in the very late stages. But it's something very dear to my heart that I campaign for, I pray about, and I hope everybody will take the time to consider donating what they can to the cause. If you can't donate money, you can certainly donate time. Alzheimer's Association runs some nice events during the course of the year in all parts of the country to try to raise a little bit of money for research and funding, and to try to whip this thing. It's a very insidious disease. It doesn't matter who you are or how old you are. Usually it occurs in our senior citizens, but it can occur at any age. And it's just something that is so horrible and tragic to a brilliant mind, to see them basically disappear over the course of a couple of years is just more than I want to see ever happen again. So, yeah, we're going to do everything we can to raise some money for Alzheimer's Association to battle this thing. And we hope everybody will help out. All you got to do is go to alz.org, and they'll turn you on to everything you need to know, and all the research is there.
Absolutely, and yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that about your mother. But hopefully what we do here online, is just a small side of sim racing, but hopefully it does help spread the word, and we do our part in that, as I've tried to do for you as well, Dan, mainly. But yeah, just quickly looking at Cossack's times here, looking pretty interesting here. But yeah, Dan, we got the race coming up next week. How are you feeling for the race car?
Feeling pretty good. I've been working on it for a couple of weeks now. I think I've got a pretty solid machine that'll do good in traffic or in clean air. It's not going to be the fastest thing. May not be the most stable thing, but I think the balance on it is going to be good over the course of 500 miles. And, of course, you know how much I love Indy, and I think I got a good way and a path to glory here. We'll give it a try for sure.
Well, here's to hoping it will actually be 500 miles and not 500 and a bit, because that is a possibility now with this event. So, yeah, once again, everybody, if you are able to, please consider donating on alz.org or any other local website or cause related to the Alzheimer's disease. Of course, not everybody is located in the US, but there's plenty of good causes out there that help Alzheimer's disease or fight against Alzheimer's disease. So Dan, thanks a huge amount for your time and spreading the awareness, and best of luck for perchance tomorrow's qualifications attempt, and if not, the race next week.
Appreciate it, Julien, and appreciate everything you've done to put this event together. This is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for the three wide start. You know how I love those. So we're going to have some fun.
Let's hope it's not a cold one where everybody crashes on the first lap.
Absolutely.
All right, good luck.
And we can go 500 laps as well as 500 miles. I wouldn't mind.
I'm sure you wouldn't. I think it's going to be hard for me to survive though. But who knows? Maybe that would be an idea for later on. Maybe. Actually, don't give Liam those ideas.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to mention that to him at all.
Yeah, I'm going to cut this part out of the stream, so Liam never hears the light of day about this.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll see you later, Dan. Thanks a lot for doing
it. All right.
John, you
Have
are
fun.
next up. Please reset your car and head out on track.
So Kostek's run below the
We have
40-second
10 minutes
bracket.
exactly of running to go on day 1.
39.75, which is, wow, 6th quickest. Okay, very impressive. But yeah, that was the voice of Dan Ench. Like I said, he's a great friend of mine, and unfortunately his mother's suffering from Alzheimer's disease. So once again, if you are able to donate, please consider doing so.
So just checking.
You can also read more about it
10 minutes in total,
on
or 10 minutes
ALT.org.
until you can't sign up anymore?
10 minutes in total. As soon as we hit 10 o'clock, my time or BST, we will not be sending any more runs.
Alright, let's see who is on track now. Whilst we were wrapping that part up. There we go, John Christensen back out on track. A lot of things to take care of while you're on your own. Including giving everybody the chance to put their words in. This one I felt is pretty important though, so that's why we did that. So yeah, that leaves us now with 9 minutes left on the clock. John Christensen will be one of them. Final runs of the day. And then after that, I do believe Kosek has another run. Actually, no, that was the previous run he just did. So after John, it will be Jordan Hale. And then if any one of those runs is being aborted, Brendan Taylor will be the final car that gets to go. So that will conclude day 1 of qualifications here at Indianapolis. Hope everybody has enjoyed the stream so far. It's been an interesting ride with people running more often than others. But as multiple people have mentioned, including very reliable sources, we will have a bunch more qualifiers tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow we'll be live, same time, same place as today, for the second day of qualifying here at Indianapolis. Now remember, if you want to get involved, you can still qualify tomorrow and get your way into the race, which is next week on July 26th at 8 p.m. BST UK time, that is, which will feature a 3-wide start, 500 miles, 200 laps of racing, all covered right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel by myself, Julien Altena, and also by my good friend Mike Wayne Robinson, who really does know how to bring the action to these races. If you would like to have an introduction to him, I highly recommend watching the Sprint Series Season 2, which ran when ran it? December, January this year. John in the wall, and
okay,
that is
John,
going to be
reset your car.
Run done. And that was looking like a really strong one as well.
If you could reset your car and head out on track, please.
It's a very unfortunate day for John. Just missing out on the first 2 rows on day 1 at least. Sadly binning it in the wall on lap number 3. But that first lap was a 39.5. It was right up there for the top 3 really. So sad to see, but Jordan Hill now gets another shot. And with there being 7 minutes left, Brandon Thayer will get his shot. So the final 2 runs being Jordan Motorsports drivers.
Green flag.
So here we go for the second to last run of the day. Jordan Hill across the line to start his final run of day 1 in qualifications here. Good speed into turn 1. Excellent speed off. 227 is incredible. That's among the highest we've seen today. Just dips to 223 off exit 2. Not too bad though. Running a very smooth line, not scrubbing the speed off. Could use a little bit more of the track, but choosing not to, which indicates a very well handling car. As the first lap, I'm guessing is going to be a 39.6. It looks like one. Just barely misses out on that one, but still a very quick 39.71. Washing up towards the wall, but still keeping it flat. Not losing much momentum at all. 231 miles per hour into turn 3. .223 off. Down the front straight once again. As he once again enters turn 1 at 230. So lap number 2 was at 39.789. Not too much fall off. Still tracking very well. And I do love that speed, 230 miles per hour, pretty much every lap of the straightaways. Very consistent run so far. Starting lap number 4. Bit of understeer starting to creep in for Jordan, but not a bad run by any means so far. That's a 39.851, a small wash of the wall again, just brushing it. I'm sure Jordan is battling all kinds of loose and tight at the same time at the moment. As he screeches through turn 4 now. Down the front straight.
Checkered flag.
Checkered flag in the air for Jordan Hill. Can he improve on his run? He needs an 8.35 average.
Reset. Brandon, reset your car and go out from now. We have 3 minutes to go.
As we have 3 minutes on the clock, so just enough time for Brandon to go out one more time. There we go, there's a pretty sizable improvement. To an 8.25, Jordan Hill improves. He maintains his position, but he solidifies it by a pretty decent chunk. So great job by Jordan, who at the moment is on the outside of row 3. Let's see what his teammate Brandon Thayer can do. Coming to start his warm-up. So just before Brandon starts his last run of the day, just look at these fast times here. The best lap, Nicholas Pressey, 39.398.
Green flag.
Absolutely ripping it around Indianapolis. Matt Wagner is almost a tenth off. And teammate Samido is even further off in third. Slowest single lap belongs to Lucas Santos, 42.052. Edson Santos, I should say. 2 Santoses in the field. So Brandon, good speed into turn 3. 1 mile per hour higher than his teammate Jordan entered that corner in on his last run. This is the opening lap of the last run of the day. Guns have just gone off. So this is it for today. First lap is a 6.80. Very good lap. That was, I believe, that was even quicker than Jordan ran earlier, if my memory is not all messed up. Which it could well be after 3 hours of cars turning left. Pretty much non-stop. Coming towards the end of lap 2, turn 4 off onto the front straight. And lap 2 is going to be a 39.753. Not that bad of a fall off. A little bit more drop off than Jordan had though. So hopefully this doesn't come back and bite him, as down the back straight we go. Can he hit 231 again? Yes, he can. Good speed once again. Current fastest single lap is 9th quickest. So there is more speed in the car. As across the line he goes once more. It's a 39.813. Took a little bit to update, but there you go. Still tracking faster than his average though, so this is going to be a pretty decent improvement. I would reckon this is going to jump into P8. Just in front of Lucas Santos. One more corner to go.
Checkered flag.
And there we go. That is the final
okay,
run.
Well done, Brandon. I believe you have gone faster there. The metaphorical gun has gone off. That is the end of day 1 qualifying. Day 2 will commence at the same time tomorrow. We have qualified about half of the field today. It's going to get competitive tomorrow. Thanks, guys. And look out for any info in the Discord.
So there you have it. Day 1 of qualifications is now complete. You can see the running order right there on your screen. As Nicholas Pressey with the fastest average of the day, the only driver to hit the 39.5s over the 4 laps. Matt Wagner is next best in line with a 39.6057. Then it's Mitchell Samido, teammate to Nicholas Pressey, with a 39.6175. Then it's Dan Inge, who was pretty happy with his run. He was debating whether to go again, but decided not to in the end. Perhaps tomorrow he will. 39.6915. Then Rick Ravon, I was just told to pronounce his name as. 39.7425. Then Kostek Solowich with a 39.7512. John Christensen with a 39.7787. Brandon Terry does jump up to P8 with a 39.7807. Just edging in front of Lucas Santos, who drops to 9th with a 39.8152. Then it's Jordan Hill completing the top 10 with a 39.8250. Then the final 4 drivers who did set lap times but weren't as competitive as they, I assume, would have hoped. João Castro, Lilac Zier, Adil Sampashi and Matthias Marcomini all missing out on the top 10, with João being the only one under 40 seconds. So that is going to conclude day 1 of running here. We have nobody in the waiting room, so congratulations on the provisional pole to Nicholas Pressey, and the outside front row for Mitchell Samido, and the inside of row 1 so far for Matt Wagner. For more coverage of qualifying, please join us again tomorrow for day 2 of qualifications. If you cannot make it, make sure to join us next week for the race on July 26th. And finally, if you are willing to race, you are still able to. Just make sure to join the Discord, sign up, and qualify tomorrow. If you do not qualify, you will not be allowed to race. So there is still time. Just make sure it's worth it. So that's going to wrap it up for all of us here at the track, including myself here. I've been Julien Altena. I hope you all enjoyed the show. I want to thank everybody who watched and tuned into the chat. Unfortunately, I have to thank Marnix Heister as well, but especially Brandon in the chat, Matt Wagner in the chat, Nicholas Pressey in the chat, Hugo Gallas in the chat, Scott Christensen, John Christensen's dad. Good to see you as well. And Christian Ortiz has also been in the chat. So thank you guys for all being here. Almost 100 views live. It's great to see. So thanks once again. And we'll see you tomorrow for day 2 of the 2025 PEC Indy 500 qualifications. Take care, everybody.